So we are assembling this team. We have all of the critical pieces in place, and we're in the process of fine-tuning and finishing the negotiations that are going to allow us to proceed in a rapid and most cost-effective manner.
I understand. I understand that you have a website, and and your new patient surveys are to be posted on that website. What's the purpose that they'll serve?
Well, again, the surveys allow us to get the opinions of the medical marijuana community in terms of their needs. We're going to have a survey out there for veterans so that they can come to us and provide us more of the ammunition, so to speak, that we need to go through the FDA. And in general, have the feedback from the community of people who are using these types of medicines now that will allow us to further refine our formulations and provide the most effective medicines that we can provide as we continue to proceed with our plan.
Could you tell the listeners a little bit about the National Education Public Service announcements that Cannabis Science has initiated?
Yes. Again, there's such an ignorance regarding this field. I see it all the time. There are so many physicians, for example, who don't even know that there is an endocannabinoid system. There are regulators in the FDA that we've spoken to who don't know there's an endocannabinoid system. And likewise, it's true with the public in general. So what we're trying to do is to educate people as part of our effort to have to move everything forward. I'm a college professor. That's been my life's history, really, is to be involved in both education and research. And I feel that an educated public is going to be a huge benefit to us as we move forward here. So education is something that I'm very deeply involved with and concerned with. And for people to know that there are safe, healthy medicines out there that can help them with, in many cases, conditions that they've not been able to find satisfactory medicines for, like the two that I've just mentioned, like the fact that we have, in the case of bird flu, for example, or flu in general, we have a significant number of people that are dying. Fortunately, the bird flu has not yet entered into the human population, but in the case of being transmissible from human to human, it only at this point rarely comes in when it's transmitted from animals, birds, hence the name bird flu, to humans. But in those cases where humans have contracted that particular strain, there's been over 60% death rate, fatality of over 60%. The conventional flus, it's around, it's under 5%. But here it's 60-something percent. If this thing ever gets to the point via mutations where it is readily human-to-human transmitted and it retains that high degree of lethality, we need something that's going to deal with that. And interestingly, cannabis does that once again by regulating free radicals and inflammatory behavior, inflammatory biochemistry. The people that are dying from the bird flu or the swine flu or regular flu, in most cases they're dying from what's known as ARDS, adult respiratory distress syndrome. And this is essentially caused by the chemicals that communicate within our bodies the need for inflammation. These particular strains overdo that, and our bodies respond. It's not the virus that's killing us. It's our body's response to the virus that's killing us by creating this adult respiratory distress syndrome in which the cells that line your lungs die. It's essentially organ failure. And those pro-inflammatory chemicals are normally regulated in your body by, guess what, your endocannabinoid system. So what's the natural supplement for that? It is to use cannabis, cannabinoids that are going to help prevent that problem.
Amazing.
Yeah, you can hear my little kids just got up in the background in our man.
Well, it was 5:30 in your area. I appreciate you taking the time out. I understand that especially from listening to you, I'm actually getting more educated here, and I appreciate that. There's a lot of different.
We want to do this educational series.
Understand.
Part of it.
There's a lot of different avenues of the cannabis research. I mean, you mentioned bird flu, and I remember reading something about families and cancer and AIDS and HIV. Can you go into that as well?
Yeah, well, see, again, this is what's so incredible about these cannabis-like compounds, both the ones that our bodies make and the ones that are in this plant. Cannabis has been known for years. People have used it for cancer and for HIV because of its anti-nausea properties. Well, what we now know is that cannabinoids literally kill cancers. Now, this is amazing. I mean, just think of it. We've made a drug illegal that kills cancers and is an anti-aging drug that helps prevent age-related illnesses. It's just astounding that there's such a gap between the scientific knowledge and the public and governmental regulatory knowledge. It's just amazing. So cannabis is now, compounds in cannabis as well as our endocannabinoids have been shown to kill in tissue culture and in animal studies. So people have to realize the limitations of what we now know. But nevertheless, our cannabinoids do kill breast cancer, prostate cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, brain cancer, glioma, like Ted Kennedy just died from. I mean, there are so many cancers that we now know cannabinoids can help kill that it's just amazing. And furthermore, not only do they directly kill the cancer cells, but they prevent what's known as metastasis, which is how cancers spread from one location to another. And they do that by inhibiting all of the different kinds of biochemical events that allow for metastasis. So this is profound. I mean, here you have something that helps prevent the spread of cancer, helps kill the cancer, helps relieve pain, helps prevent nausea, helps stimulate appetite, helps promote sound, good sleep, and is an antidepressant. Well, doesn't that sound exactly what cancer patients need?
Absolutely, it actually does. Like I said, you've educated me this morning. There is one area where I'm having a hard time following, and maybe I'm not the only one. Is when you say medical cannabis, is that's like a wide variety of products, isn't it?
Well, it is in the sense that this plant is just amazingly versatile. There are a huge number of strains. Remember, I said there are hundreds of different compounds that are biologically active in these plants, and different strains have different quantities of these different compounds. Let me give you an analogy. You know, we have a species of animals called dogs, but look at dogs. We got Chihuahuas and we got Saint Bernards. Right? I mean, there's not a lot of physical resemblance between a Chihuahua and a Saint Bernard. And similarly, we have that same kind of diversity within the plant. There are huge numbers of strains that have been developed by breeders, driven by this medical need and medical availability of cannabis in a variety of states. So again, this is where our community, being embedded in the community of medical marijuana users, gives us this knowledge base that we can then utilize in developing our various medications.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. Hey, Don, I've covered a lot of questions. Do you have any questions that you'd like to give
I do, Doc. I could. There's no way I can let you get off the show today, Dr. Melamede, without touching on this particular subject. And I know you've alluded to it a little bit, but I saw a special on TV not too long ago, and this was mostly geared towards Canada, where they were growing medical marijuana. This guy had this huge greenhouse, and so on and so forth. But my question to you is the product. Where, and if you can't answer because of legal ramification, I understand. But where do you get the product, and